West Kootenay Outdoors has been brought to you by Valley Firearms, your one-stop destination for all your firearms needs, shipping Canada-wide, coast to coast. Secret Creek Supplies for all your ultralight backpacking needs and much, much more. Secret Creek Kennels, no pets too big or too small, we do them all. On today's episode of West Kootenay Outdoors, Jackie's son Brad Pendlington comes up to help us hang some new Marten boxes and later gets his first moose.
Morning, this is my son Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little hanging of Marten boxes today, getting ready for the winter. We've got a beautiful little skip of snow, so it kind of helps us get an idea of where they're gonna be and just give us a heads up a lot easier with a little snow. And tomorrow we're gonna be going moose hunting and see if we can get you into your first moose.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
Good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So.
Well, this weather's going to help, guys.
Yeah.
The snow melts a little bit for tomorrow, and yeah, we should get one, I think.
Yeah, awesome. So it'll be your first hunt essentially.
First hunt, yeah.
Fun. So,
Yeah.
but with your military backing, you know, you got a little bit of gun safety, and you know, you're pretty good with that. So.
Yeah, I feel it. Feel good about it. So.
Awesome.
Sweet. Yeah, thanks for having me out.
Hey, you're welcome. We'll have to get you up here in the winter, Brady.
Yeah.
The chop will be connected to here,
Yeah.
so it'll spring it, and you'll hang out here,
Fabulous.
and then he won't get on the sap on the tree. There's a branch we cut off, and it went right against it perfectly to tilt the box away from the sappy tree.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Green.
Nice. Sounds like you've done this before.
Yeah, a couple times.
Once or twice.
Beauty.
I think we put it right there. Green. Later on, we can hook it right on here. When the snow gets deep, we can hook the chain on there and move it up from here to there.
Perfect.
And it'll hang down free. This is a good set. Perfect. Got your gloves? Yep. Yeah.
Good set. It's set on the bottom.
So you picked this one because there's a creek right here, right?
Yeah, I thought it'd be good with the creek and the game trail right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there she is in the corner there.
Yeah, let's get a ribbon on it and keep moving.
So this is why there's so many marten in here. This is a nesting tree for marten to have their kits in. So all those holes are where they go and they have their kits inside those holes. And that's why there's so many marten down here by the lake.
Pretty excited? This is your first hunt. Well, other than for fowl, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
Birds don't count.
Yeah, birds don't
Lucky if
count.
the moose goes down with a 6.5 creek.
Oh, here we go.
The 30 caliber camp is over on the other side of the caliber.
No, you can take my 30 on.
We might have to share a real gun with you.
Let the abuse begin.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means.
Get used to it, buddy. Every hunting camp you go in, there's going to be a mixture of 30 caliber firearms, and then you're going to be the Creedmoor guy.
Nice.
Well, I go with Ray, and Ray's still just like, oh, Callum, you gotta get a better gun, man. Like, it's 30 on 6. That's what you told me to get. He's like, yeah, but you gotta get like a Magnum now. And I was like, I haven't even got an animal, Ray. He's like, no, man, you gotta get new, and you gotta get new boots. And I was like, these are good boots. He's like, no, You want the boots that I got, and you should get some pants like me, and you should buy you should buy a 2018 F352 because you just want to have a good truck that you're proud about. And like,
Just like you.
Yeah.
You realize that 30-06, the only difference between it and a 300 mag, the only difference is about 4 to 6 grains of powder.
Okay.
Which, if you really want to, you can stuff them in the same case.
well, I got a
And then it's
220 with me.
220 what?
220 grain.
No, I mean the bullet's the
okay.
same.
Yeah.
The bullet in a 300 mag and a bullet in a 30-06 is
Okay.
exactly the same bullet.
Huh.
The only difference is I think one has got 56 grains, one's got 59.
Okay. So I just got
Just a
start
few
packing
more-
my ammo and then I'm good to go.
Yeah, you just put a little bit more powder in the shell case, and you're a 300 mag.
There we go.
Literally, that's all it is. Yeah. And a short mag, which is what I shoot, 300 short mag, is
Yeah.
just a fatter. It's the same as a 300 Win mag,
Yeah.
but it's instead of a long case,
Mhm.
it's a short fat case.
Okay.
But the amount of powder inside is identical.
Okay.
In the West Kootenays, the strategy is to hunt the places you can actually walk. Yeah, because you can't really walk anywhere.
Right.
This isn't Kamloops or Prince George. So there's moose here, but there's lots of trees. It's all flat, but it's on this angle. And thick.
Steep and thick. Where are we heading in the morning?
We're going to the meadows.
Meadows.
Yeah. Now everybody knows where we're going because now we've announced it on national TV.
Yeah.
So,
So that's
but
up
everybody
there already,
knows the
yeah.
meadows already anyway, and most people don't have a moose draw. You are
Right.
the only guy alive right
Yeah.
now that can shoot any ball. Everybody else has to shoot unicorns and 2 points. So we're just going to take you to where there was a love-struck bull wandering around like a teenager in love with these 2 cows that were in the meadows bothering us when we were trying to hunt elk.
Okay.
So every time we were bugling, he would call back to us. So they're wandering all over using the roads to go from place to place because it's easy walking. So they're just wandering miles and miles in this country to find another cow because there's not that many moose. So, but there's 2 cows up in the meadow. So I'm hoping that if there's a bull around, it should stay in the meadows because there was 2 cows in there that we kept seeing over and over. Every time we came up here, we'd see the cows.
Right.
So that was the one I sent you the picture of, or your mom did. Put him in on one meadow, just watching, and then you and I will go to the other one and I'll do some calling and see if I can pull that bull back in. I'm just going to go to where he was all acting love struck and coming in, and hopefully he's still kicking around. The smallest moose on the mountain that's a bull has antlers about that tall.
Okay.
And about half of it is forks. So, and that's legal for all of us. Those little 2 points
Okay.
and spikes, they're legal for all of us. Those 1.5-year-olds, but there's only 6% of the moose population that is roughly 6% is a 2 point. bull.
And then is 6%, and then like maybe 4% and 2%, or
No,
is
they're
it-
like 6% of the herd that's in the forest
yeah.
is legal for us too.
Okay.
So it has to be a bull, and it has to be 1.5 years old, and it has to grow a 2-point rack because a lot of them grow 3-point racks. That's not legal. So in their 1.5 years old, they'll grow a 3-point, or they'll
Or 3x2 or something.
yeah.
What's the idea? Like, what's the thinking behind?
Well, they just grow the way they grow.
Well,
right?
why is it not acceptable to shoot one
A
that has
3-point?
Yeah.
Just they're trying to reduce hunter harvest.
Okay.
So
So,
they
we want a specific thing regardless of what the actual
That's right.
ecology is.
That way, they're limiting the hunters to only hunting 6% of the population.
Oh, okay. So they're just
Right.
like, well, this, yeah, okay. That
So
makes sense.
we still get hunter opportunity. We still buy a tag. We're still out here supporting you. We're still out here buying fuel. We're still
Right.
doing all that stuff. So they're still getting all the money from our tags and what we're contributing to the economy. But we're really only hunting 6% of the moose population. Whereas you're hunting, in a perfect world, 50%, but it depends on the bull to cow ratio, which is probably more like 30-40% in the Kootenays and more cows. So there's 3 kinds of moose in BC. There's Shiras moose, which is what we have here and what they have in the States.
Okay.
And then there's northern moose, which is what they have in Kamloops and Prince George and such. And then there's the Yukon moose, which are the great big ones they have in like Dees Lake North, you know, Atlin, and then the Yukon. Right? Yeah, they're freaking huge. Those are the ones with like 2 sheets of plywood for antlers.
Okay. So you're saying about 6% of the 2 fork or 2 point?
6% of either of the 3 moose kinds of moose. So we
Right.
don't have either of the other 2 here. We only have Shiras bulls here, which are kind of, they look different. The racks don't grow as big, but they're really tiny. They have long tines. They don't have the big paddles as much. They have paddles, but just not as much. So they have long tines, and they don't have as like the big flat paddles as much. They still look like a moose rack, but more longer tines. And then their bodies are more, they don't have the deep chests that you get up north. So the ones up north are narrow and super deep chested. These ones are, they're still narrow, but their bodies are like, they're really leggy,
Okay.
for lack of a better way to describe it. Shiras bulls are leggy and smaller.
Okay.
Okay, they look awkward, whereas the moose the way up north are like really stocky and deep chested. Like you can't even reach in with your arm to gut them. Like it's, somebody has to hold it open, or you have to like pry it open and then crawl right in to gut them. They're that deep.
Jeez.
So they're like, they're at least probably 2 to 3 times bigger than the bulls here. I don't think I'd be shooting through bone with a 6.5.
Right.
Okay, so we have a little bit more, in my opinion. You know, if somebody's probably gonna, if we aired this on TV,
Yeah.
somebody would probably write in about, oh no, the Creedmoor. Okay, it's a small bullet traveling really fast, and if it hits bone, it has the potential to fragment into a million pieces.
Right.
So in my opinion, I put it right through the heart, right back there.
Okay.
But sometimes we have the latitude, and some people will shoot them right through the shoulder.
Really, I didn't know that was an
Yeah.
option.
There's lots of schools of thought on that. I have done it when, like with elk are really hard to kill compared to moose. Moose usually just lay down, but elk are terribly hard to kill, and they travel for, like, their heart's still pumping, they're dead, they're gonna die anyway, but they go. And in this country, they'll go head downhill, and they're dead, but they go for a long ways. So sometimes when you see that they're gonna go, or maybe they're gonna go over a cliff, or they're gonna go somewhere where you don't want to have to try and drag them out of, I'll take the second shot and put it right through his shoulder. But it's harder to do with your gun, and people are gonna get mad at me for saying it, but I'm not a huge fan, just because you have to have good shot placement with your gun. It's a little bullet.
Right.
So if you lose a little bit of it because it fragments, there's way less of it to do what it's got to do, and it's traveling really fast, so it can get deflected really easy. A slow bullet doesn't get it deflected as bad, and there's more bullet mass to work with. That's the thing. Like if a moose looks like he's going to run and go across the lake, or he's going to jump across the creek where you can't get him or whatever, then that's when you have to make a decision whether or not you're going to shoot him through the shoulder.
Okay.
To make him go down. And they go down like a sack of potatoes, or they just stand there like this and you don't even know you hit them because they just take the lead. And that's likely what will happen when you shoot a moose with your gun, is you'll just go and you'll just take it. And then you put another one in, and you'll just take it, and you'll be like, you wonder if you're even hitting them. You'll just stand there. And then all of a sudden, you'll go and fall down. Elk, you shoot them, and they go and start running. Most rookie guys, the mistake they make is when I'm calling, and I'm calling them in, they shoot, as soon as he shows himself in the meadow, and he's 300 yards across the meadow, they start shooting him. I'm like, for the love of God, he was going to come. Just, he doesn't know where we are. They have poor vision. So, you know, he's using his smell. So if we have the wind right and he's coming looking for a cow, let him come. I'll just tell you, just let him come. Let him keep coming until he gets closer. You'll have a way easier time with your shot placement. Not only that, we can get him to somewhere where we can get him out. You know what I mean? So if he's standing across the water on the other side of a lily pond, you know, a beaver pond or something, and you start shooting at him over there when he was going to come across, why not just let him pack his own meat across, you know? But that's so frustrating when I'm calling him out and somebody starts shooting before I'm ready. I'll know if he's going to come. If he's held up, we'll know he's held up. He'll start circling around, and you'll see that he's reluctant to come in, right? But if it looks like he's going to keep coming and he's thundering across the meadow headed straight for you, let him come. We don't have to pack him as far that way, all right? And you can wait till you have a really, really good shot. But that's the mistake a lot of people make. Because you take a 300-yard shot with that 6.5, and it's going to be a problem for us. Shoot.
There you go, buddy. That easy.
What was something?
That was easy.
How's that, bud?
Unreal.
Huh?
Unreal.
Oh my god.
Go up there and make sure he's dead. He was probably dead. Don't go make sure. Just stand by him.
Look at your beast. What's going through your mind, bud?
That's
Oh my god, I'm shaking.
that's
I told you he was coming, man. I heard him cracking right behind me, but he was going to come out right to me. So I had to wait, and I had to freaking get around here so he could get a shot. So I heard him coming right there, and I'm like, so I burned around here to try and get him. I'm like, get ready, he's coming.
that yeah, that's very Canadiana.
Yeah.
I got him
So.
pretty good right to the center, and then got a nice kind of angled one behind the shoulders. I think that one dropped him.
But I didn't know you were good. I thought that was the longest time waiting for you to shoot. I'm like, shoot. Like, that's your shot, man. He's hung up. Because he would have turned and went back in.
Right.
He had me
So
busted
close.
there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you hear me say shoot?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to spook him, but he was hung up and he was going to go right back in the timber. That's why I said shoot, because now's your time. I'm pretty pleased for you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, excellent calling in, and yeah, it's a big moment.
Never in my life have I seen anybody with such good luck as you. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I visualized it last night. That was surreal.
Yeah. You know what? That's on the bucket. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Nerves of steel, yeah.
yeah, I was just focusing on my breathing, but it's hard.
The paddle's always in the back, right? And so this is the deepest one, and then the paddle. So basically where the split is. So they up north, they have to have 3 here.
But this one counts as one.
That counts as 1. Anything over an inch. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's both he's legal up north on both sides because he's a tri-palm.
Yeah.
But not a big bull. Like, there's lots of bigger bulls in the Kootenays than this, but he's not tiny either. He's like you say, if he was a person, he'd be like a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
Just a punk like you.
Yeah, right. Shooting a shot.
Yeah. That's why he wasn't calling heavy coming in,
Mm.
because he didn't know if there was a big bull in here.
Okay.
So he's coming in real quiet, just kind of checking to see what things are up, and that he was trying to come in downwind of us, right? But I kept moving so that he couldn't come in downwind, and that's why he poked out here. He was going to poke out right there.
Yeah, I was
behind me,
worried
like
about
literally
it, yeah.
right on top of me where I was calling,
Yeah.
and that's why I came running past you
Yeah.
and said he's coming, because I was afraid he was going to pop out like right there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
all I did was just adjust his trajectory to over there, right? Because I was down the road a ways.
you can't
I
slow
ran down the road. I was still out of breath when I was calling.
Like,
So
big
I,
ball, big
I,
ball.
I had to run down the meadow to get angle on him so the wind would be blowing away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
big ball.
Well,
but then I knew that he had you dead to rights looking at you,
Yeah.
because you're right out in the open where he came out, and that's why I kind of whispered, "Shoot,"
Yeah,
because I'm
that's a
like,
good
he's not gonna,
call.
he's gonna stare at you for a while, but he's dumb. He's a moose, but he's not that dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, let's get him gutted.
All right.
The sooner we get the guts out of him, the better.
Hey, that ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I gotta say that.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't count. West K Outdoors has been brought to you by Central Island Rentals and Sales, Canadian Coyote Company, home of the Seneca snares and so much more. West K Outdoors, so much more than just a trapping show. Check us out online.